My name is Brenda Brooks. I'm the Director of Community Affairs for LES, and I'd like to thank each of you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to be with us this morning. The weather is wonderful. We're not going to push our luck, and I think it might rain. So without me taking too much of your time, I'm going to bring up LES's CEO and President, Gregory O.D. Smith.
So first I want to welcome everybody here. It's a long ways from a lot of places, and people have come from all over the world to help us celebrate this event. And what a wonderful day it is. It's a wonderful day for Eunice. It's a wonderful day for Lee County, New Mexico, and the United States of America. This facility at full operation will provide 50% of all the nuclear fuel needs for this country, in this country. And it's 21 years of effort that Urenco and the persistence that they demonstrated from the time they decided they wanted to build this facility to today. 3 years ago, we made our first concrete pour on this project. 3 years ago. And today, we're ready to operate this facility. And the most impressive statistic is that we have never had a construction lost time accident on this project. So now I'd like to introduce Charlie Pryor. Charlie is the chairman of Urenco USA and a special advisor to the Urenco board.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's great to see so many friends here. I've had the privilege of working in this industry for 40 years, and I've been with this project since its inception in the early 2000s, and this is truly a landmark day for the U.S. nuclear power industry. The experience gained by the Urenco team here, their contractors and subcontractors, and the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission in building this first combined construction operating license facility is truly going to pave the way for the new nuclear plants that are now being planned for construction in the United States. And now it's my pleasure to introduce the former president and CEO of LES, and the gentleman who really is and a great deal responsible for bringing this project to fruition. He's now the Chief Operating Officer of the Enrichment Technology Company, Reinhard Hinterreither.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today, and we really appreciate that so many of you have taken this occasion and joining us here today and celebrating with us this tremendous achievement of getting to the point of being the first centrifuge enrichment plant in the United States and the first nuclear facility for 30 years. Now, if you can imagine, the only reason how things like this can really work together and the driver for that is if there's a strong local community and if there is elected officials and representatives that support this facility. And so it's my honor and duty today here to recognize all of these that have helped drive this facility forward and make this facility happen. When we came here in 2006, the only thing that was on the ground here was 1 square mile of dust and the sign designating the future site of a uranium enrichment facility. And if you look at what we have here today, it's a tremendous feat. So I'll now take it's my honor and pleasure to introduce to you the next speaker, Helmut Engelbrecht.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a great moment to be here again and address an audience. It is certainly one of the most remarkable events in my life, and I hope also for you, to bring this plant about. Reinhard has mentioned a lot of dignitaries, has mentioned a lot of people that have worked hard to support this project. But we shouldn't omit our key supporters, our customers. And it's my special pleasure to actually greet customers that have made the trip from all over the world to this inauguration to help us celebrate this major milestone. There, first of all, are naturally the American customers, which have been a key supporter to this facility, and we will actually ask them somewhat later to have a major part in opening it. But there are also, in addition to that, our international customers who have taken a major interest in us progressing with this project. And I'm particularly proud to announce that we have special guests from one of earliest customers from Brazil that are here, and from our latest customer, which is the Ukraine. And all the other customers, Japanese, Koreans, Chinese, Europeans, are represented here as well. So you truly celebrate not only the opening of a major US facility, you are opening the facility that is very important in the global context of nuclear energy. And please allow me to briefly describe how Urenco came about and how this international cooperation in nuclear areas has led to the success that we are celebrating today. It was about 40 years ago, at a similar time when the Nuclear Proliferation Treaty was created, that the three countries, the nuclear weapon state of UK and Germany and the Netherlands, decided to cooperate in the field of enrichment. They wanted to cooperate exclusively for peaceful use. And the remarkable thing about this, that they shared the responsibility for Urenco and its development on an equal footing. So by that, they created an environment that was truly committed to civil use only and was dedicated to supply and ensure the supply of fuel services to the growing first European nuclear industry and later global industry. And in a minute, Mel Draper, the chairman of the Joint Committee, will give you some more insights in that.
Thank you, Helmut. It's a great pleasure for me to be here from Europe, representing my colleagues on the Joint Committee, Marlies Hudemakers and Hans-Christoph Papa. As Helmut said, it's the 40th anniversary of the Treaty of Almelo, quite an important document as far as the European countries are concerned in the development of nuclear energy. Why is the Treaty of Almelo important? Well, as Helmut also said, this year is also the 40th anniversary of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. And in fact, me and my colleagues were in New York, the United Nations buildings for the last few weeks, renegotiating the review conference document, which has just been published. You may have seen it in the press. You may not know that one of the subjects that we concentrate on quite significantly within the NPT is the role of the access to nuclear fuel, and in particular enrichment facilities. Enrichment facilities are one of the most sensitive parts of the nuclear fuel cycle. It's for that reason that the Treaty of Almelo was so important. It was the first opportunity for countries to come together and develop this technology. As Helmut said, it's essential within the Non-Proliferation Treaty that this technology is only used for peaceful purposes. And that requirement is enshrined deeply in the Treaty of Almelo. It's the role of the Joint Committee to make sure that all the operations of Urenco abide by that rule. It's a quite separate undertaking from the operation of the Board of Directors, so quite different to a normal company. The arrangement that we set up under the Treaty of Almelo is in fact recognised by the likes of the International Atomic Energy Agency as good practice in the control of sensitive technology. What I'd like to do now is to hand over to Chris Clark, the chairman of the Urenco board, who will give you an introduction from the company's side.
As you've heard, I'm chairman of the board of Urenco, most of whom are here to share in this great event. And I've been coming here twice a year since the time when this was desert, and the achievement here is really quite extraordinary, quite stunning, and makes me both humble and proud. And I do congratulate all those, each and every one of those involved, most of whom are here, in producing this very fine and stunning example that we're opening today. Urenco's got a lot to celebrate today. This is its 4th enrichment plant, and it begins operations in the year in which we celebrate the 40th anniversary of the Treaty of Almelo, of which you've heard, a landmark in the history of the development of nuclear technology for peaceful purposes. As anyone who's been closely involved with this will know, one of Urenco's key values is safety. And to have achieved over 8 million man-hours, I make no apology for repeating this eulogy, because you've heard it before, without a construction lost time injury is something of which the team at Urenco USA can be justly proud. I want to congratulate everyone involved, and that means everyone, and wish them all the best as they continue to reach this very high standard. It's a safety record second to none.
Bill Richardson, the governor of the state of New Mexico.
I want to thank Greg and Charlie Pryor, Reinhardt and Helmut. How do you like negotiating with Helmut with that voice when he says, "Governor, we need more production"? Okay. You know, it's the kind of, you know, a governor talks about jobs. I'm going to talk about that, but then I just want to say what is particularly unique about this event that I see. Well, first, the total value of contracts in the year 2009 for the state is $155.8 million. The annual payroll for 2010 is $30 million. The construction jobs, 500 to 700 construction jobs. Let's give that a big round. And those benefits go to New Mexico, they go to Texas, they go to Lee County, Eddy County, they go to the state. And it makes New Mexico a center of nuclear energy. There's only going to be one uranium enrichment facility shortly, and it's in New Mexico. And it'll account for 50% of America's imports. I want to thank all the folks at Urenco that are here. They're our national enrichment leaders, and we appreciate their support.
Our next speaker is the Honorable Gary King, the Attorney General of the state of New Mexico.
Well, thank you. It's a real pleasure for me to be here, and you know, there are very few times when it's useful to be the only Attorney General in the United States that also has a PhD in chemistry. But this is one of those times. So, you know, I'm very honored to be here with what are probably the most important people in the state of New Mexico currently, and some of the most important and greatest thinkers in the world. So we want to welcome all of those of you from Europe and from Urenco who are here with us, and you know, it's just a terrific honor.
Our next speaker is the Honorable Jeff Bingaman, the United States Senator for the great state of New Mexico. He is also chairman of the U.S. Senate Committee on Energy and Natural Resources. The Honorable Jeff Bingaman.
I just want to join all the other speakers here in congratulating Urenco on this great achievement, and thanking them for coming to Lee County and to New Mexico to establish this facility. Congratulate all of the local leaders here who have had such a major part in this effort. Congratulations to Governor Richardson, to my colleague, former colleague in the Senate, Pete Domenici, who made the nuclear renaissance in this country a very top priority of his while he was chairing the Energy Committee and throughout his time in the U.S. Senate. We worked very closely together on provisions that he championed in the 2005 energy bill that I think have had a big part in moving the nuclear energy industry forward. But it's great to see you all. It's a great day for Lee County, great day for the country, and for the world. So I'm glad to see this occur. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker is the Honorable Harry Teague, United States Congressman.
Good morning, and Brenda, thank you for not telling those stories. You know, it really is a great day today, and I'm very proud to be here for the grand opening of a facility that I spent so much time and effort along with other people, and to make it happen and today to be the day is pretty exciting. And I do want to thank Urenco, LES, and all of the customers from all over the world that came.
The Honorable Matt White, who is the Mayor of Eunice, New Mexico.
Well, good morning, folks. Welcome to Governor Richardson, our senators, representatives, and all the visiting dignitaries. I'd like all of you to know that we've shut down all the oil wells within 10 miles of here, so the smell is not out there. Just remember, that's the smell of money, and that's what keeps New Mexico and Texas running. Another little known fact that most of you don't know, I suspect, is you're sitting in the middle of one of the largest forests in the world. Now you ask me, how can that be? It's an oak forest, and it's about this tall. It's one of the largest in the world. Believe it or not, when you look around, you see these oak brush around. It is a forest. That's what they say. My compliments to all the supervisors, the staff, the workers, all the contractors for making this dream come true. Many people have gone out of their way to make sure the city of Eunice was aware of every step that was being taken. The board of directors, Reinhardt, Tony King, Greg Smith, and Brenda Brooks. They have always kept me in the loop. They have helped our community in many ways. Thank you.
Good morning. I'd also like to thank everyone for coming here today. I do have the very great privilege of introducing our keynote speaker, but in reality we all know he really needs no introduction. He's my very good friend and a very good friend of everyone here. It's mentioned earlier that there are people from around the globe here, and if you're in the nuclear business around the globe, you know the name Pete Domenici. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the godfather of the nuclear renaissance in the United States, Pete Domenici.
Thank you so much. I was looking around to see if the governor was standing or not. I do want to tell you, when he got up here a little while ago and was bragging about opening a whip, said he was the Secretary of Energy opening it up. I do want to tell you, my recollection of that was that he was dragged along, kicking and screaming. Now, if you want some more war, we'll have some more. If not, I would just like to say congratulations and thanks for all the help you gave us as we, together, bipartisan, everybody that thought they had a role as leaders, joined together in the state you were Chief Executive Officer and accomplished a great good. Thank you, Governor. And to the rest of the delegation that served when I did, in particular, my great friend and marvelous senator, wonderful citizen of New Mexico, Senator Jeff Bingaman. It's always a great pleasure to be with you. Thank you. Now, I think you all know that I have a little job that I agreed to do. I serve on the Blue Ribbon Commission, the presidents or the secretaries, whichever way you want to call it, Blue Ribbon Commission on nuclear power. But essentially, we are really to make recommendations to the people of our country for the tail-end technology, the nuclear cycle, and what should or shouldn't we do as a nation in that regard. And, we still have an L in this because this operation as a private sector endeavor started in Louisiana. And so we have two states to thank for this wonderful success story. Louisiana, which messed this up to a high they were. Louisiana, which you're so worried about all the things there that matter economically. If Mary Landrieu wasn't so busy, I would have brought her here to show her what her leadership mistakes look like. Not hers, but those who did it. She didn't do it. Now, having said that, I want to tell you what I think. Oh, I also want to thank Tennessee. That little town in Tennessee that you went and looked at because you thought they would be pro-nuclear, and the first thing you found out is you had a city council meeting and they started throwing rocks at you. And so that's when we found out that we ought to get a hold of you. We did. We exchanged letters, I recall. I sent one to you and you sent one to us. And then you moved from Tennessee to here. And so we have to thank those two states for messing this up so bad that they came here, and we are thrilled with the success. And the success means that for nuclear activities that will serve America and New Mexico well in the future and cause economic growth and people to be hired in high-paying jobs, it is important, it is most important that we look for the facts, not the fiction of an activity or a thing that we are going to do in the nuclear area. That we'll look at the facts, not the fiction of a plant like this. The fictions that came out in Louisiana and Tennessee caused people there to have a wrong impression about an industry that is necessary and is good and vital for the United States and serves the environment well. If we are committed to nuclear power, why would the United States not go back and at least start the process of building the uranium enrichment facilities that we know how to build and that we can build, of building them in our country? That's what this is all about. So I came here today charged up because as far as the licensure of the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, we've run into some long delays in the 18 applications that were filed there some 2 years ago, 2 years and a few months. We have made a finding, however, after due diligence. Two of us accepted the challenge to go find out whether we were dragging our feet on licensing up there in the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. You all should know we found that there had been no intentional dragging of feet, but that the process of going through this licensing in America after not doing anything for 30 years has been very difficult in terms of the understanding and the technical people that had to do the job. I'm very hopeful that the second and third tranche of licenses will go much quicker, because the 5, 6, and 7 years that they are estimating are far too long. As you know, we're going to be working on technologies, and the country, America, is beginning to develop small modular power plants as a concept. And we're really hopeful that we can find some ways that licensing won't be so long, that we will lose that technology to the world instead of licensing it here first and using it here first. You know what I'm talking about. The 3 or 4 high technologies that will make small modular plants seems to be very important for the future. Now, having said that, I want to close by saying what a difference WIP and this enrichment plant and an agreement that you have here in Hobbs, so that the international company that is going to work on further perfecting the byproducts and the waste products of this plant. When we think that what has happened to our state with WIP, with 10 years of existence without an accident, transportation without an accident, and the enrichment plant which has been described here, and the new international agreement that's born, obviously something dramatic is happening to this corridor of activity. I call it a corridor because I can't think of another word. If somebody can think of something that describes it better, I hope we'll hear it and grab hold of it and use it. But clearly, when I started as a senator, this was a one-dimensional community. When the price of oil went down, workers went home. When the price of gas came down, the school kids moved to other school districts because their mamas and papas left. And now we had pretty good evidence that that's not going to happen in the future, that the diversification with the nuclear technologies developing it here, along with the others that we can that we need and can develop properly, we are going to be, this area, this corridor involving the 2 counties plus the surrounding counties, that is the county of Eddy and the county of Lee, are going to have great futures because of the diversity that you bring. To all the dignitaries that came today, the board of directors and those of similar capacity, by your coming, you reestablish with somebody like me that this is important. I don't think that board of directors clear from Europe will come to New Mexico and then come to Lee County and then come to Eunice for an event if it were just an ordinary kind of event. It is not. It is an extraordinary kind of event, and you benefit, hopefully, by producing the kind of product that will sell, that you can make some money for your stockholders in, and we will benefit by building it and then by operating it, which requires men and women, their minds and their bodies to do work. So I want to say, as a senator who served for 36 years, and I left because somebody told me I was going to be very, very sick and that I shouldn't run again. Turns out I do not have what they thought I had, and thank God. I might have some other things wrong, but I don't know that I really caught them. I think that's just a process of getting damn old, that's all. It's not very much fun either, I'll tell you. So anybody gets up close to 80, 78 like I am, you just got to say to the Lord, why in the world you make it so hard on the old people? We're just beginning to understand things, you know. We love these kids, but man, it's bad. And guys like me have to quit. Anyway, thank you all very much. It's great to be with you.